Hi there, my name's Declan and I'm a high school junior. If you haven't noticed, the world is bonkers right now and it's all because of COVID-19. If you've been keeping up with the news, you're probably overwhelmed by data and information about a risk we all face. COVID-19, common colds, and milder flus are all different types of coronavirus. These viruses vary widely in how dangerous they are and how easily they spread. But in 2012, there was an outbreak of the MERS virus, which was incredibly deadly, but which did not spread too widely. Before that, there was an outbreak of the SARS virus, which was less deadly than MERS, but which spread to be an epidemic and then pandemic. COVID-19 is less deadly than SARS and MERS, but has spread so widely around the world that it's become a very serious global threat. As dry runs for the current pandemic, SARS and MERS taught scientists valuable lessons about tracking and containing the spread of respiratory viruses. Most importantly, researchers learned a lot about how these infectious diseases attack the body, and specifically the lungs. And that research supports the idea that while vaping is never a good choice, it's an even worse and more dangerous choice right now. Today I want to talk to you about one specific risk. Really, it's a risk multiplier. It's about what happens when someone with a vaping habit gets exposed to COVID-19. Vaping is big business. According to the BBC, about $20 billion big, with over a third of that spending being done in the United States alone. If you've spent much time in an American high school, you've probably encountered vaping. In fact, according to a University of Michigan study, 2/3 of teens have tried vaping at some point. Now, vaping can cause serious damage to our lungs, but to get the scale of that, we first need to understand the basics. You don't have to be a pulmonologist to understand that the lungs are a crazy complex organ. There are more than 40 different types of cells working together to draw oxygen out of air and into blood, while also screening out toxins and dangerous organisms. Research published by the British Medical Journal looks specifically at the functions that healthy lungs performed and how vaping side effects interrupt those functions. The link between respiratory weakness and death from COVID-19 is clear. The Journal of the American Medical Association reports that COVID-19 fatality rates are nearly 3 times higher for patients with chronic respiratory illnesses than for healthy lunged patients. Now, not every vapor will be as bad off as someone with chronic respiratory disease, but that many vapors will be worse off than average patients because compromised respiratory systems makes them more vulnerable to catching COVID-19 and less effective at fighting it off. Healthy lungs are always going to be important for a long and active life, and no matter how careful we are with social distancing, a lot of us will contract COVID-19. Don't let vaping turn a survivable disease into a death sentence.